Mad Max is set for release on September 1st, the same day as Konami's Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. This was a bold choice from Warner Bros. Because MGS has a massive fan following which may eclipse Mad Max during its initial release. That being said, the two games are completely different in style, so they'll appeal to completely different crowds. For fans of Mad Max Fury Road, it may come as a surprise to learn that the new Mad Max game is completely unrelated to the movie. One of the game's developers said the game is more of a prequel, a different adventure in the same continuity. Warner Bros. Have had limited success with movie tie-ins and thought the game would sell more as a standalone project. It's a shame because playing as Tom Hardy would have been awesome. There's been talk of a Mad Max video game since 2008. 2012 is when Avalanche Games finally started developing the game. Movie tie-ins are typically quite rushed, sloppy, and poorly made, which is good news for Mad Max being a standalone game, as it's had a full 3 years in development. The extra time must have paid off because the gameplay looks very enjoyable, and it could not look better visually. Members from the Avalanche Studios development team have been quoted in saying that story and plot were the main focuses for Mad Max. As they were developing this alongside Just Cause 3, they wanted one game that focused on maximum enjoyment and gameplay, while the other would have a more immersive plot and storyline elements. Given it's based on a movie franchise, I'd expect nothing less. The Mad Max movies have always shown us huge, barren, empty wastelands for settings. The game looks set to deliver just that, with miles upon miles of drivable desert terrain. The world map is split up into sections owned by different gang leaders, which you'll have to liberate. While the huge open world isn't exactly a new concept, we're looking forward to seeing Avalanche's take on the dystopian wasteland of Mad Max. It's not only the war boys and other bandits that are out to get you in Mad Max, you're also at odds with the environment itself. You'll have to survive an array of natural disasters, windstorms, tornadoes, earthquakes, and landfalls as you travel around the barren wasteland. One major talking point about the game so far is the magnum opus's harpoon gun. Inspired by the Just Cause series developed by the same studio, Max's vehicle has a deadly harpoon gun which can rip parts from enemy vehicles, pull them closer to you, or simply tear your enemy to shreds. If the fun we've had in Just Cause 1 and 2 is any indicator, the harpoon gun in Mad Max should be a blast. The hand-to-hand combat system is incredibly similar to other Warner Bros. Games such as the Arkham series and Shadow of Mordor. It's mostly based on melee combos and a counter parry system, while you're often faced with 5 to 6 enemies at a time which you'll have to juggle. While there are firearms in the game, the amount of gunplay is apparently fairly minimal compared to the melee and vehicular components. Mad Max is true to the movie franchise in its use of vehicles. It seems as if the majority of the game is behind the wheel of a car. Most of the combat is car-based as well as the exploration. A developer from Avalanche Studios said that you'll be behind the wheel roughly 60% of the time in Mad Max. If you're a devoted pedestrian, maybe this game isn't for you. Most open-world games have countless collectibles, and Mad Max is no exception. This time, you'll drive around the barren wasteland collecting car parts and scrap in order to turn your car magnum opus into an all-out war wagon. As you collect more parts, you'll have a better selection of weapons, tires, armors, and paints ready for the final battle with Scabrous Scrotus.